Good morning. This is Michael Hayden. I'm speaking to you from Portland, Oregon. I'm a master Kabbalist of the Saudia version, 931 CE. I want to speak to you about my GoFundMe page and some other issues that are coming up. I'm having a little trouble marketing. I'm trying to reach a select set of people that are interested in the information that I'm interested in. That are interested in the truth. We all go to school. We're all taught 2 + 2 is 4. But do we use what we're taught in school? Are we actually looking? That's the question. I see a lot of citizens around the world. They also go to school. They know how to use math. They know how to extract information, but no one's using it. You study things in colleges. I learned and studied different languages for many, many years. I learned Arabic and Hebrew. And these languages, these five-dimensional languages, they're phenomenal. They're not something that you memorize with rote memory, like memorizing a number. This is a language, five-dimensional. You don't learn it unless you put it on the body. It used to overwhelm me. Sefer Yetzirah, the book of creation. Really, Sefer, book, Yetzirah, formation, the book of formation. I studied under Aryeh Kaplan. A quality rabbi. He taught Lenora Leeds. I believe she died in 2009. She was a professor at Yale University. She wrote many things on quantum Kabbalah. Her rabbi was, and she was homeschooled by him, was Aryeh Kaplan, Rabbi Aryeh Kaplan. I studied his works for many, many years, and overwhelmingly, it took a lot of time to put it on my body to realize, oh wow, you wake up in the morning and your hands are polarized. 32 states of consciousness on the body. I studied nuclear sciences, and we sent Voyager up to the planet Mars. It contained a package called MISRAD, Mars Anomaly Spectrographic Radioactive Detection System. We let Russia use it as well, use the data link through it, and they noticed Xenon 109 on the planet. It's only produced, that's the radioactive isotope. It's the chemical form. It's an isotope. That's the chemical form of a radioactive fission reaction of U-238. It puts out Xenon 109. It doesn't occur in nature. So, they found we're very good at our nuclear technology. Although we're too big for our pants. I believe I believe our civilization's been erased several times. Can't get it right, start them over again. I believe that the Creator set certain conditions. He set something over man to collect the thoughts of man, traveling over the earth and through the earth, to collect the thoughts of mankind. Everything. Every act, everything that you do. And you judge yourself. So back to nuclear technology. We know that the half-life of U-238, which of course we have to centrifuge, takes a long time to make it. We get it from decaying rock, centrifuge it out, build it up. U-238, the half-life is 4.7 billion years. In 4.7 billion years, a single little particle of it will only be half as hot. And another 4.7 billion years goes by, and that'll be half as hot. This is what a half-life is. Because we know the half-life of that radioactive element, and if we make weapons out of it, it doesn't occur in nature. You have to centrifuge it, spin it out. You have to make it. When we detonate a bomb, a fission reaction creates Xenon 109, the chemical form It's an isotope of that fission reaction. So they found this with MISRAD. Curiosity, 2013. Hey, the books are open. NASA, never a straight answer. I don't have anything against them, but this is a bureaucratic organization that's really not interested in telling you anything. I mean, if it landed in your backyard, Smithsonian would seize it. It doesn't exist. We don't know where it's at. It's in the bottom of the library somewhere. You find a 20-foot skeleton in your backyard. Put your number 10 tin coffee can beside the head. Take a photo of it, just like you lay a quarter on the ground for something to size meter it. And guess what? It disappeared, man. Smithsonian seized it. We don't know where it's at. So I'm getting to you about schooling and about using your brain. And we're all taught to do that. Perhaps it's it's an organization that wants to see who's with us and who's going to stand with us and who's going to stand against us, who's going to cut up in class and who isn't. Took me a little bit of time to pull my stuff together and get oriented right, but I listened to that little voice. I believe in Hebrew we're talking about the damam, the silent voice that tells you whether you're on target. Back to radioactivity. So we're all taught, how to use the schooling. But hey, don't look outside the box. Here's some new games. Here's some things to keep you busy. Don't look up, whatever you do. Don't go outside at night. Don't be the last person on the trail in a national park. 9. Look at the 411 missing people. There are a lot of things happening in our continuum, the manifestational continuum, Messiah. And there are a lot of other continuums. So I searched for the truth through languages. I learned Hebrew. I didn't just learn words. I learned the character profile, the primordial character profile of each letter, why they were rejected. A spectrographic picture scope of every letter's rejection from the big guy. Pei steps up and says, hey, choose me, man. The rules are the first letter is the primary energy contributor to the vessel, either no matter what it is, whatever that vessel is, animate or inanimate. The first letter is the primary energy contributor. The second letters, well, they're not so important, but they contribute to the vessel, to the body of it. The last letter, these are the rules. This is the line it stands on, whether it serves the big guy or whether it serves the underverse. Now, these are diametrically opposed, opposite endpoints, apexes, if you will, of a single continuum, good and evil. We spoke about this in this last one that I told you about. But are we using what we learn in school? Are we looking at the books? So there you go. You go ahead and you pull up Curiosity 2013, and you scratch your head like John, what's his name? He's a plasma physicist. It'll come to me. It usually takes 90 seconds for total recall. At any rate, plasma physicist that worked for NASA for years and built plasma thrusters for space. He had a friend that worked at Sandia Laboratories, and he looked at the data from NASA on Curiosity 2013, and he said, "What is this Xenon 109 all over the place for?" Just, predominantly in the north, and there's another site in the south. They also found thorium-90 and krypton-80. Those are only produced in the work of Dr. Edward Teller, fission fusion generation of a weapon. We make big weapons today that, bigger bang for a smaller amount of payload and multiple staged warheads, ICBMs. And these weapons go through fission, fusion, and fission. That's called thermonuclear. Fission weapon, like we dropped on Nagasaki and Hiroshima, It's just fission weapons. Fission fusion is the work of Dr. Edward Teller. When a fission fusion device goes off, it's called a neutron bomb. And this is where you get thorium-90 and krypton-80 at. When the neutrons hit the ionosphere of whatever planet it goes off on, it hits back on the ground. And of course, fusion is the subatomic bonding of nuclei. Not the splitting of the nuclei like fission. It's the, giving off hydrogen, helium, and the constituent principal parts of even of water. This is all reaction, fission, fusion. So we find these elements there in high quantities in the north in the place called Mare Acidilium. But hey, nobody's looking. You went to school. You were taught how to use your brain. Don't be analytical. Whatever you do, don't look outside the box. Then you look at the data and you ask yourself a question. Hey, how come NASA's not saying, hey, look, somebody nuked it? Now, we're very good at nuclear radioactivity because we know the half-life of that weapon. A fission fusion device or, U-238, 4.7 billion years. We can tell, almost pinpoint to the hour that a weapon was detonated, that it went off. So here we go. We're looking at this thing, and we're like, oh, wait a minute. That weapon was airdropped, not on the ground. It was dropped slightly above. That's what they call ground zero. That's the center point directly beneath the detonation of a nuclear device before it hits the ground. Airburst. And that weapon was detonated 250 million years ago. Now, this wasn't a weapon like 1 megaton. No. This wasn't a 1 megaton warhead. You think that's quite a bit of, that's a big punch. That's a big bang. You can see these things on GIFs when you use Duo. I kind of like to nuke somebody every now and then, just to get my point across. But the size of this weapon was 1 million 1 megatons, all at once. 1 million 1 megaton warheads all at once. Not just once on this planet, but in 2 blast sites. So who nuked it? This is a question that we have to ask. There are a lot of things going on in this world. There are a lot of answers that are unanswered. There are a lot of questions we have. And those that are at the top of the game, maybe they're protecting their PhDs. This is why when you go to college, this is exactly why that you've got to use peer-reviewed literature, peer-reviewed. That means that another PhD had a chance to shoot your stuff down and couldn't do it. That's why I can't use Wikipedia on a college exam, or I'm doing a doctorate or a PhD or a master's degree. I can't use Wikipedia. It's not peer-reviewed. I could say, hey, I'm a brain surgeon because I opened a head with a hatchet, and I'd be on Wikipedia. I'm not a brain surgeon, but I am a Kabbalist. So that gives you a very heavy-duty perspective about what's going on, especially if you learn this language. And I'm looking now into the publication of a second book. This is what my GoFundMe is about. It's about having run the names of the Creator, which we know are on the Tree of Life. Many different systems allow it, different names. But fundamentally, they're almost all the same, depending upon the systems. I learned them all. I went as far back as you could go. And the reason why the Christian Crusades took place was to take knowledge of Crusaders. And they took it and added it to Masoretic Script 299. It's written in Arabic, 931 CE. Added it to their long version because it's correct, because it deals with the 7 doubles, 7 double transpositional traits: Bet, Gimel, Dalet, Kaf, Pei, Resh, Tav. Life, death, peace, evil, wisdom, folly, wealth, poverty, on and on. Those letters are the 7 holes in the head. Whatever enters those holes goes directly to your soul. You got to be careful what you eat. If you buy a lawnmower, It comes with an instruction booklet that says, hey man, don't run it over the rock garden. You got to put oil in it at a certain time. So the same with your vessel. Be careful what you eat. This is why these things are written down. These things are important now. We think we're going to live forever, and we are, literally. And listen, I believe that we are the universe watching itself and introspectively learning as it goes along. I believe it's alive. Everything's alive. I tell you some astonishing things that have been found with this language. I'm trying to publish them, and I'm trying to reach out to real people that are digging for the truth, that want to know the truth. Now, I used to be a non-believer, and I was semi-religious, and but I had my, as I discussed previously, my faith. I lost my faith, and then through this technique, I gradually got some of it back through evidence of predestination, which is provable. First name, your last name of your mother, your first name of her, your mother, and your first name. Add the letters up in Hebrew or Arabic or Aramaic. They're all the same values. Take that quantity, that value of your mother's first name and your first name, and cast out 12s. Divide 12 into it. That's what that means. And then you use, Kabbalists know that you use the order of the 12 tribes found in Numbers 1, 20 through 43. And those you write out as 0 through 11. The remainder of whatever comes out of your mother's first name and your first name added together with 12s cast out. The remainder? Well, that's the damn birth gate you were born through. I knew you before you were born. Listen, now that still wasn't enough to bring me back, but I tell you, when I found through running his names, I know the tree of life. I know those 10 emanations, and there's a reason why each of his names are on there. And this has never been published. The name that's written over even the gate of hell. Elohim Gabor. Living strong potential, strength to protect you from the north. I discussed this previously, slightly. What comes out is, proof of hell. Proof of the delineation and definition of creation, and proof of the Creator, period. It's, when you go through each of the names, it's like getting slapped in the face. 1, 2, 3, what? Coincidence? It's not a coincidence, man. Listen, the fourth name on the tree of life, of course, is Ofer Kased, or what some Kabbalists would call Gedula. That name is Aleph Lamd, L, and you run that through that chart that king was using in Spain in 1253 AD, Alphonse Cyprius X. You run that through that Tolotan or Alphonsine tablet chart, and it comes out, bam. That's a rostrum, a stage. And of course, we know that Kased is scintillating consciousness. It scintillates. It is the stage that wisdom, Chokhmah, and Bina and understanding are set upon. Each name just, oh, wow. Well, number 4, well, that's beyond, because then you get hit in the face, smack dab in the face. But number 5, over the gate of hell. And of course, it's Mars too, on a physical level, manifestation level, on a planetary level. That's the planet Mars. They got nuked. Are you using your schooling? Now you're looking at the whole picture. I aim to publish some things that are just really phenomenal, and I need. I'm trying to get out of the sunlight a little bit, so there we go. That's a little better. I need your assistance for not just for publishing the documentation of this. I'm a Kabbalist that writes treatise style at no cost. It takes a long time to do what I'm doing. It's done in hand. Anyone can generate their stuff on a computer and have your hand script come out on a computer. That's not what I'm doing. I'm creating myself an actual manual that is all in color, all done by hand, for the collective value of it, because that information is a contribution to my civilization. No one is doing that. No one anymore is doing that. And these things are very valuable. My other manual is Quantum Kinetic Manipulation, Advanced Kabbalistic Applications, 5 Dimensions. And it deals with permutation, codex orders, and mnemonics. And a complete breakdown of Sefer Yetzirah mapped out. I left no stone. I put all of the systems in there so that you can do a comparative analysis. So you can learn as you go. If you don't use it, you don't get it. You can't just read these books. You have to do them. You have to put them on you. And that changes you. It redirects you. So I'm on a mission from the big guy, you could say. Seriously. And I do need some assistance. I'm working now at down on Swan Island in a facility that it's corporate Walter E. Nelson, an excellent facility. I love my job. I love my work. I work with numbers all day and make sure everything's being shipped properly. And I'm saving my money as much as possible. My aim is to get a fifth wheel, even if it's used, but a fairly newer one, and so that I can make the rest of my research mobile. If I need to go places, then I don't have to worry about rent or anything. I don't own a home. My idea of a home is if I have to buy something, paying into something that I own, and then I own it. And I like fifth wheels, but I need some assistance with my GoFundMe. This allows me to pay up my from my work. I would be able to pay up a site fee, and these are kind of hard places to get into too. Everybody's got trailers now, and you have middle-class people that are living on the street and are homeless right here in Portland, Oregon, in their cars. And I need to get into, even if I have to live in Tillamook, where they've got a lot of places for fifth wheels, that's fine. It's a few miles outside of Portland. I could commute, but I need that. I need some assistance with buying some hardware to not just put my format in color. I previously used. I had a friend of mine, a doctor friend in Portland, Oregon, take my work and put it on createspace.com, and they had to take it to somewhere and have it, each page of course was written on front and back, which meant everyone had to turn each page. So 590 pages had to be turned by hand, and now I only print on one side. So when you scan it, I had to have a company scan it and reduce it to a digital format with Adobe Acrobat software in color, and then put it on DVD disc. And I submit the DVD disc to CreateSpace, a self-publishing platform. And then 5 days later, Amazon was selling it worldwide. And so I'm working full time, and I'm also right now I don't have a home to live in. I am in a place that is in between homes. But I need some assistance to put myself in a place. Even though my money is coming in, it's not building up that quick. You know, I don't make that much money, but I need to be able to purchase something fairly soon, at least by August, and get into a fifth wheel or something in a site, and then get back to work. And when I get in from work from Swan Island, then I can work on my second tech manual. And I want to publish these things. Anyone who donates to the GoFundMe, who sends a written request. This is an addendum to the earlier video I just made. I made some mistakes within that video. I said we sent Voyager to Mars. That was Curiosity 2013. The plasma physicist I spoke to you about was John E. Brandenburg. That's the man who noticed the abundance of xenon 109, the radioactive isotope I was speaking to you about. Also, if you are a contributor to the GoFundMe cause, please ignore that address. I'm going to cut that out of that video section, and I'm going to leave you with this address. Write to me at Michael Hayden, care of Dr. Thomas Haymore, Dr. Thomas, Thomas Haymore, Haymore, 1891 6th Avenue, Westland, Oregon. I'll be happy to send you a personalized copy of the publishings that I will finish with. And thank you very much for your assistance.